For more than a decade, FTI has strived to become the leader in the aftermarket performance transmission and converter industry. We've joined forces with McLeod Driveline Components under the leadership of Top Fuel Funny Car pilot Paul Lee, and now have a larger distribution network, more resources, and more power. Come see us in the pits and ask how you can join the FTI family. It's not cheating, it is the competitive edge.
Radio, NHRA Nitro. This is WFO Radio.
Hey everybody, WFO Radio. We are on location at the Texas Motorplex, the Stampede of Speed, the track back there, that's just a mural. We're in one of the conference rooms, and it is amazing. We've been out here since last week. We saw the Texas Invitational. We saw concerts. Midland performed. It has been amazing, and we're going to keep it going here with WFO Radio. Alan Reinhart scheduled to join. The winner of the first ever Texas Invitational, Terry Haddock, scheduled to join, and Buddy Hull going to get us started here in just a few minutes. But before we do that, I want to tell you about the people who make it possible for me to go WFO each week on this show. Great sponsors like the folks at Foggett for all you bracket racers, for you class racers. We got the Jegs Allstars here this weekend. I bet you every single one of them uses the product known as Foggett. Steve Williams, Gary Stinnett have worked so hard to educate everybody that you need to do this to your engine after you run to protect your cylinder wall finish and all those parts in there from microscopic corrosion. FOGGIT.com. Foggett on board with WFO Radio, as well as FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters. I'm watching those top dragsters. We got a top dragster shootout here today. Going to get started around 2 o'clock Central Time. Going to be great, 4 o'clock rather. And they're so quick and they're so fast, and you got to get that power to the ground. So many of them are using FTIperformance.com for their power glides and transmissions, torque converters as well. Check them out, FTI Performance Transmissions and Torque Converters. Total Seal Piston Rings as well. The leader in ring seal technology. Hartford finds himself in the middle of a Pro Stock Championship fight. One thing that is not really a fight is the battle for supremacy in the piston ring game. They pretty much got it locked down. Total Seal, whether it be Pro Stock, Stock Eliminator, all the way up through Formula One, they're getting the job done. Total Seal Piston Rings. And then there's Bernie Speed Shop in Ocala, Florida. Josh Hart, 100,000 square feet of cars and customs and exotics. They're buying. It's a dealership. They're selling on consignment. They do e-bikes. They do restorations. They do it all. Bernie Speed Shop, BURNYZZ.com. Follow their social media, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And, of course, the folks at Phillips Connect, Phillips-Connect.com. Smart trailer technology, Phillips Connect, keeping people safe out there on the roads. It's the ounce of prevention versus the pound of cure. You're losing money when your trucks and trailers are on the side of the road trying to figure out what went wrong. If you had the Phillips Connect connected sensors, you'd know before it happened. You could tell your driver to pull off to the side of the road and rectify the situation. But it's not just that, right? It's load sensors. It's light sensors. They do it all. Phillips-Connect.com. Later on in the show, I'll tell you about Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. I'll tell you about Rodax Coffee and Grills.com. I was there this morning at Marvin Rodak, getting highly caffeinated. Hopefully you can tell. And, of course, Samtech.edu. But before we go any further, let's bring him into the show. He's been out here like all week. He lives here. He's from Dallas, right? This is his hometown spot, Mr. Buddy Hull. What's up, buddy? How are you?
Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me, man. I sure appreciate you. And what a week this has been so far. You know, we've had a blast out there at the racetrack, and we've got the Down syndrome group involved out there, and the Meyer family is just putting on one heck of a show. As you mentioned, Midland, and that was awesome. And, seeing all those Chinese lanterns, thousands of them float through the air. It's all just really cool. So, yeah, we're sure excited for Q1 on Friday. I know that.
Well, it seems like a million. I don't even know how I want your take, right? And for everybody out there, this is my second year being involved with the Stampede of Speed for the full pull. And really even this is my first year doing the full pull. I did the cattle drive in downtown Waxahachie on Friday morning, which I didn't really understand what it was going to be. And now I know, and it's a great kickoff to the event. All kinds of kids, they get to see race cars, and they get to see cattle, and they get to see just like, oh, there's a big event happening in town. And the team here at the Texas Motorplex have done such a great job. You've been involved from jump. And Friday night, the Scott Palmer Nitro Sideshow. If you're a drag racing fan, and buddy, I know you are, and yeah, I'm selling something that already happened. Sorry, folks, but it's going to happen again next year. And we're like to the halfway point right now, right? But just that show, fuel altered, jet cars, nitro cars, we had a small tire shootout, like just that show was super exciting. And that was like the first thing we did.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. Scott does a great job at selecting the right cars, so you see a variation. You got everything out there from, a modern big show fuel funny car to a nostalgia front engine, dragster to a altered to a nostalgia funny car and top fuel pro mod and small tires and everything you mentioned. So, that show to me is something that can continue to grow. And I think is a potential, an event like that is something for other tracks to really look at to bring in, because you can garner the attention of so many different types of fans. And it's just so cool to see different types of cars lining up against each other. It's totally cool.
It really was a great deal. Then we had the concerts, and for everybody who is out there and doesn't really know and understand what we're trying to do is like they bring in these concerts. It's obviously a money-making endeavor, but really it's to expose drag racing to these concert goers. They come out with their blanket, they sit down there watching the show. Diamond Rio was awesome. Everyone was awesome. But at these little momentary interludes, we kick it over to the track, and buddy, you guys did a burnout, you went down the track, like it was a really cool. And we even had something called the Texas Invitational, top fuel dragsters versus nitro funny cars. And from what I gather, and this is what I want your opinion about, right? Like, it's working. Concert goers are not necessarily familiar with nitro burning dragsters, and now they are.
It totally works. We had so many people stop by our pit area after we ran and was like, holy cow, that thing is loud. And, how do you do this? And where do you do this? So it just proves that, the Stampede of Speed is something that I believe it needs to be a part of the future of our sport. Bringing new faces to the racetrack and getting them there for another reason, but then allowing them to see the type of spectacle that a top fuel dragster or a nitro funny car puts on is something, in my opinion, is how we grow the sport, right? I mean, again, I'm repeating myself, but we had dozens of people come by and say, man, that's just the coolest thing ever. And of course, I did my due diligence and invited him back out to the track for this weekend to the NHRA race. So it's just awesome. I wish every race was like this. I wish every track we went to had something like this, even if it were a smaller version, but just something smaller to get the community excited and get people involved would really grow our sport.
They really, they should want to. Hopefully they will, and it's working. It's working. Like the community, we had mayors out here from Waxahachie and from Ennis yesterday. And the mayor of Waxahachie is an old school super stock racer. Like this guy knew Grumpy Jenkins. He knew Ray and Morrison. Yeah, Ray and Morrison built our first engine. It's like, wow, that is like Dallas racing royalty. But, today we got a top dragster shootout. The champions dinner is tomorrow. I'm going to be at that. Are you going to the champions dinner?
We sure will. We will be there.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Love the champions dinner.
Excellent. So, hey, we got some questions here. I don't know who it is, but somebody wants to know if you're going to Pomona. What is the schedule after this race for Buddy Hall Racing?
We will not be in Pomona. We have slightly adjusted our schedule. This will be the last race for us. We are getting a new race car, and we're going to dedicate our time and our funding to putting that new car together so we can come out in 2024 and hopefully and we're aiming to perform at a much higher level. So we're dedicating our time and funds towards that.
Let's talk about that. Okay. So you're going to be attempting to qualify, and you have the Down syndrome awareness machine. And I think this is Chris out there. I'm not sure. I don't know if Chris's name starts with a K, but talk about this deal, right? A special paint scheme or a special wrap. And we got to meet Lauren yesterday, and this is using drag racing for the best possible cause. Of course, you're trying to qualify. You're trying to set a career best. Friday night, you might have an opportunity to do it. I talked to Mike Guger. He's excited about it. He's ready to fight back against that car. But the way this deal came together, I think it's something that everyone's going to be interested in. And I know the people in the WFO universe might want to get involved.
Yeah, well, giving back is something that's very special to me and important to me. I always try to find ways daily, monthly, weekly to give back. And I think it's important that we give back, locally nationally, at a world level, if we possibly can, if we're human beings that have the ability to do so. And so I've used my race car for these last few years to create opportunities, to create awareness for different things such as breast cancer and also Down syndrome. The opportunity with Down syndrome partnership in North Texas came through Chris Frolics. He mentioned, or he spoke just now in the group thread on this call or on this podcast. And, he's a shop neighbor of mine, and we became friends in the last couple of years. And I was sitting in my office one day doing paperwork, and he strolls in at the end of the day and says, "Hey, I have an idea." And I said, "Okay, what's your idea?" He goes, "Yeah, I remember last year, you had that cool pink car, and we helped you with that." And he did. He was a donator in that car, and he had his company's name on the car. And he said, "Well, things have changed for me, and I'm now on the board of the Down syndrome partnership in North Texas. And I'm really interested in working with you and doing a car." And I said, "Okay, done." I'm blessed to be able to do that. I'm still in complete control of the how my car is the livery per se of my race car. And so Chris and I literally within 10 minutes had a deal, and we got to work right away. We got to work on designing a new car, and we let the folks from the partnership choose how that wrap looked. I gave them all rights to choose how it looked. And, we put together some really nice crew shirts and really just kind of went all out hustle in the last 4 to 6 weeks to make sure that we did our due diligence to make sure that we rolled this car out, that people were attracted to it. It was beautiful. We were doing the right thing. We were creating awareness, and we wanted to raise $50,000. We also were blessed from Andy Carter. Andy Carter is a friend of mine through the racing community. He used to be one of the managers out there at the Motorplex, and he just so happens he breeds dogs that are service dogs. And so Andy has graciously and honorably donated a dog to the foundation for whatever needs they may see fit. And so it's just beautiful. It's amazing to see how many people really do care and how many people can rally around an organization to make a better life for someone that has Down syndrome. We've already had people at the racetrack with Down syndrome, and we've already chatted with them. I've already had a good time with them. We had Lauren out there yesterday with Kim, and it's just really cool. I'm just honored and blessed to be able to spread a nice, healthy awareness about such thing and raise money to help those in need.
Yeah, Lauren was out yesterday and was like, you're going to get her in the race car. And she's like, "No, I don't want to jump." That was good stuff. So, hey, Chris is out there in the audience, and I know you're going to have a QR code on your social media, and you're going to put it on the car. But Chris, feel free to just drop the link in our chat section out there for everybody. And buddy, you're going to give your social media where people can find this. You set a target, right? $50,000 you're trying to raise. That would be amazing if we could do that here this weekend. And so, Chris, drop the link in the chat section. And buddy, I know we're not done with the interview yet, but tell everyone where they can go if they're into it and they're interested and they want to help out, because it is hearing the discussion yesterday about what a small organization this is and how every donation really helps them with the local community. It's something everybody should want to be involved in.
Yeah, you can go to the Down Syndrome Partnership in North Texas website. Very easy to find. I have posted the QR code image on all of my social media. We also have a link on all of our social media. It's very simple to donate. You can choose whatever dollar amount that you want, all the way from $1 to $1 million and everything in between. And so, and all those people who donate before Thursday at 10 a.m. will in fact get their name on my race car. So if you're looking for an opportunity to get your name on a professional race car and hopefully be seen on TV and most importantly, just, towards, putting your funds towards a good cause, it'd be greatly appreciated.
Wow, that is tremendous. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this weekend. The weather at the Fall Nationals can go either way, right? I've been here when it's been really hot, but we moved back to October dates a few years ago, hopefully for weekends like the one coming. Last weekend was cool, and I was out there Friday night for the Palmer Side Show, and I'm thinking I don't want to get everybody excited about something that may or may not happen, but you cannot get excited without thinking about, like, maybe this is 340 mile per hour air. Buddy, this is certainly the track to do it. You're from around these parts. This is your home area. So why don't you be the weatherman and tell us what you're expecting.
The weather is amazing. I mean, I think our hottest day of the weekend would be Friday. I think it's 83. And then Saturday, Sunday, I think it's mid-high 80s. So what you could expect is a great racetrack. The Motorplex and the Meyer family always do an incredible job for track prep. But most importantly, Mother Nature is going to allow us some pretty good conditions. So, you can expect some serious ETs and mile an hours out there this weekend and make it super exciting for all the fans. And I know the place is going to be packed. One thing about the Motorplex, you can always count on it. It's always a show. It's always fun. Friday night, we don't even start qualifying until after the sun's completely down. So if you like big old header flames at nighttime, you come on out to the Motorplex, you're going to see header flames.
Yeah, no doubt. We've seen our fair share of header flames already at the Stampede of Speed. But what's it going to take to get qualified, right? Like there's bonus money, there's extra money. There's going to be a driver sitting up on that saddle. I want to talk about your new car project a little bit, but we can only get there by talking about, like TJ Zizzo did a great job of talking about staying with his beloved equipment for too long. Like, oh man, the technology passed by. That's not really the situation you're in, right? Like you kind of got I called it a trainer car yesterday. Like you learned all the things that you got to go through, but now you're reaching the limits of the technology of the car. But at the same time, I think you can get in. What do you think is possible for you guys this weekend?
I believe it's going to take a 79, and that's a 379 to a 380 to get in the show. We have some really good cars out there, and the conditions are just right, so it's going to be that way. The thoughts on our race car is we have a great race car. It is a newer race car. It's beautifully built. It is not by any terms worn out. It's just that the design and the technology in my car is not necessarily the most forgiving in terms of per se. When we tune the car up, it doesn't necessarily agree with what we're doing. So our window of opportunity to be successful on a run is narrowed up by the design of the race car. So we are we've already committed to a brand new race car for us that'll be over 100 pounds lighter and a car that is much more user and tuner friendly, which we're super excited about. Mike, I always want to give Mike and my team the best tools that I can give them to be successful. Everyone plays a key role on my team. And I want to make sure we have the best stuff. I'm not just here for, now. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So for us to make an investment in something that is going to help our team perform at a higher level really just makes all the sense in the world. NHRA Top Field drag racing is more competitive now than I think it's ever been. You look at the numbers and we're all so close. I missed qualifying at the U.S. Nationals by 1/1000th of a second. I mean, over the course of a quarter mile, time over distance, you're talking that's a quarter of an inch. It's just crazy. And the moral of the story is we have to get better. I'm always a person. I'm highly competitive, but I'm always a person that also too understands what it takes to be competitive. And, I don't live with my head in the sand and don't understand that we have to make changes to be more competitive. And ironically, I'm in the exact same position that TJ Zizzo was. It's identical. I mean, it's literally the exact same spot. TJ's car and his old car and my car are almost identical. So it's the exact same spot. So we're really excited to get a new race car. We will come out in 2024 with our with our A game and guns blazing, and we can't wait. We're excited for the off season too, though. We have a lot of big things coming in the off season for us. We work hard every day. I'm so thankful once again for everybody on my team. Maddie Smith, she's my girlfriend. She's played a huge role in our team this year with working on, potential sponsorships and things like that. So, we're just excited. I'm excited for this weekend, but what I'm really excited is for Gainesville 2024, because I believe we're going to be a different team.
That's great. No, look, there's a few racers that have got a shot at winning the championship this year. And if you follow other motorsports, and I know you do, the people who are not in the championship race need to start working on next year to try to get ahead, to put themselves where they want to be. And that's you guys with the new car and the program and sponsorship and all But one thing that's cool is now you're totally hooked. Like, that's it.
That's it.
You've been a part of this thing since you were a kid cleaning Wilkerson's wheels.
Oh, yeah.
But now, and the racing gods are making you feel it a little bit. You've had a couple of really heartbreaking, getting bumped at the last second, a couple of moments. So you're paying your dues as a up and coming top fuel racer. That's going to make it all the more valuable when you get there.
Yeah, those things thicken your skin. I always believe that if anything's too easy in life, it can never be worth it. So, I often compare life to boating. And what I mean by that is, without resistance for the prop to turn against, the boat doesn't move forward. And that's with life. Without resistance and without the universe pressing against you, you don't get the opportunity to press back and move forward. And I've always lived my life that way. Nothing in my life has ever came easy. And I don't expect that to change anytime soon. But what that's also allowed me to do over the years is season myself to be able to take the bumps on the chin accordingly and just move forward. And that's always my approach towards things in life. There's no such thing as perfection. It's only progress. And we have some incredible people in our camp, and we have so many people that really want to see us do well, that, no matter what happens, whether my semi-truck gets struck by lightning or whether a part breaks on my race car that never breaks on anybody else's car, it happens to me.
Yeah.
I am not going to let that stop me from achieving any goal that I have. I'm not an object that's easily moved, and I will always be that way until I'm no longer on this earth.
No, it's good. It's a fun thing. And a little anecdote. It's Friday night. We're having a great time, but we ran into a little downtime. And so DJ Laney, who will be out there this weekend at the Fall Nationals, comes up with a game, right? He's going to play a game. And he pulls two fans out of the crowd, and we got some kickballs, right? Everybody knows what a kickball is, right? And so it's like, the game is this. Buddy is going to kick the ball, and then whichever one of the race fans that kicks the ball closest to Buddy's kick is going to get tickets or something, right? And this guy took it so serious, Buddy. You're like shaking the ball, and you're warming up, and you handled it. And it was a great window into the world of the competitiveness of the drag racer creature, period, and Buddy Hull in particular. You took that very seriously. And then yesterday at Media Day, oh my gosh, didn't you race Wes Buck? You raced a bunch of people, and you were like an assassin on the starting line. You were going after it.
Yeah. It's my nature. It's funny because I always laugh and say I just can't help myself. Yeah, I played sports growing up, and I grew up in a small town with not much to do. So we played a lot of Monopoly, literally, and I was vicious at the game Monopoly. Anything I do, I don't always win, but I always eventually find a way to win. And I'm aggressively competitive, and I can't let somebody win. You know what I mean? I just can't. I went to Riley Children's Hospital, there in Indy, and I love kids, and it's not hard to figure out. I love kids and dogs, and I was there hanging out with some kids, and we started playing air hockey, and I couldn't help it. I started to beat this little girl. I'm like, what am I doing? Stop! But I just can't stop myself. You know what I mean? And it's all in good fun. It's all in my nature, and I think the way that I see it is, I just think that since nothing in my life came easy, I don't feel like it should necessarily be given to anyone either, because I believe that when things are given to you or you let someone win, all you're really teaching them is exactly that it's supposed to be easy, and you're supposed to just do something the first time and win. And that's not real. And I think, and I don't want to get into a worldly talk about the problems in our world today, but I think that if things don't need to be easy all the time, they need to be challenging. And when they're challenging, they teach you all the things necessary. So when things finally get good and you finally start to win, or you finally start to be successful in your life, your business, in your relationship, or whatever it is, that you know how to maintain it. If you don't know how to maintain it because you hadn't failed a bunch of times before, what is it? And there's a whole it's like, it's not really a poem, but it's like this a few paragraphs about winning, and how once you start winning, how it's virtually the most impossible thing to maintain. And I believe those who maintain it the longest are the ones who actually more than likely failed the most prior to getting there. Look at John Force. He's the best example of someone I can think of in our sport that, man, he failed for a long, long time and failed miserably. And then all of a sudden, whammo, he went through all the trials and tribulations. He figured out he could bring in money. He knew how to hire the right people, and he put together the most amazing sequence of race wins and championship wins in the history of our sport. And he is an absolute shining example of that, amongst many others. Michael Jordan's one, make the basketball team his freshman year. Well, so his coach, and so on and so forth. So, I got to kick the ball as far as I can. I got to play air hockey. I got to win. I got to beat on West Buck at the starting line. All those things.
Yeah, exactly. And so Jason Logan is out there. Life's a drag. He gets mad at us when we give the person who gives the wrong answer along the fence line a T-shirt anyway. And, but he's 500 feet away from him. He doesn't, see the pain in their eyes. They want the T-shirt. He wants to just rip it away. Wrong answer. Back with the message.
I'm at him right now. He actually took my sponsored Super Comp car out of Indy. So he and I are going to arm wrestle now.
Okay. Yeah, you're talking about Galvin, not Logan.
Jason
Galvin
took out my sponsored Super Comp car in Indy. I'm mad at him. I got to
Well, I think you should definitely inflict some sort of pain upon him. I mean, that's.
I'm thinking maybe treat a toenail like it's ingrown and just take it off or something.
Something like that. Something that he'll remember to not do that again. Because just like there needs to be resistance in life, there needs to be some consequences for things like that. So
right.
let's make sure I'm there to witness it. Okay. Excellent, buddy. Great job as usual. See you here this weekend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. Thanks for having me, Joe.
There he goes, Buddy Hall, with us here on WFO Radio. How great is that? Buddy Hall, he's a very motivational character and really love him. And of course, Chris is out there with very positive things to say. We need to competitive golf game tomorrow. Yeah, they're going to be out there playing a little golf, chasing around the golf course as well. All right, when we come back, Alan Reinhart is going to join us, and we're going to preview the Fall Nationals.
The number one source of friction in your engine is not what you think. Piston rings rubbing against the cylinder walls generate more friction than any other part of the engine. More friction and temperature means more wear and less horsepower. Fortunately, the team at Total Seal knows how to reduce friction and wear through innovative piston ring design. If it takes a piston, Total Seal can build a better ring.
And there you go. So true, so true. Let's bring on the voice of the NHRA, Alan Reinhart from Tucson, Arizona. Fresh back. You were announcing drag races this past weekend, correct?
Yes, I was in St. Louis at the big double divisional at Chris Blair's place and Curtis Francois' place, and we had, I believe, 693 cars and got it all done.
Huge. What were the highlights as you get ready to head to the Texas Motorplex? What all went down?
Well, there was a lot of great racing. It's so much fun to do those events. We try to have fun with it. We try to make it fun for the racers as well. But, from the on-track side of things, let's take the Superstock final round. Race 2 was perfect, right? Guys, 002 taking 6,000s. Oh, that's so cute. You can go home now.
What?
And, it was just racing like that all day long. It was maybe not quite the level of like a Biondo fling race, but there was a lot of just really good, really close racing. It was a very clean event. Very minimal cleanup time. I don't believe anybody hit anything all weekend long. Doug Gordon won, which puts him back in first place going into the Texas Motorplex. And Mike Coughlin won, and that locked up the North Central Championship for him. He actually passed Tony Stewart to win the North Central Region Championship. Tony, of course, still in the battle for the World Championship. But it was just a really, really good day of racing. We had 11 funny cars that were there battling it out for 8 spots. We had some really good dragsters that were there and good competition. And again, top to bottom, it was just a fun race. It was, and again, nothing, nobody hit anything. Nothing really bad happened. Mother Nature intervened a couple of times and backed us up. So we had one qualifying session for race 2 to set the field and off we went, but got it done. And, tip of the cap to everybody at the racetrack, Brad, who's the track manager there, and Nettie, who, Nettie, she never stops moving. Anything needs to be done. She's just going 100 miles an hour in 15 different directions. And of course, Will Tharp, and we got her done. So it was a really, really good event. 5 days of really good, really fun racing.
Excellent. No, I love Worldwide Technology Raceway, and I really like the way the schedule is in our NHRA countdown with the 3 in a row. And then we go into the Stampede of Speed, which I've been here since last Friday, just kind of, becoming a Texan is really what's happened, right? Like, there's a hat, there's boots. I'm just morphing into a Texan as best as I can, but we're having a blast. But we can feel it becoming more serious. We got the Jags Allstars coming in. Rigs are getting here. NHRA is setting up. Nitro Mall is getting built. Like, the Fall Nationals are happening. We got the big fan fest on Thursday night, which is awesome. We got a top dragster shootout on track. There's going to be on track action. Going to run some bracket cars later today. Top dragster, super pro, top sportsman, no box, right? So like some local bracket racers going to get to battle it out here at the Texas Motorplex. But everybody's talking about the weekend, Alan, and Buddy Hall just gave us a little bit of a weather report from a Dallas perspective. He thinks it's going to be very quick and fast out there. There's bonus money on the line. They're going to be on the saddle on Friday night. I'm hoping for some big speeds and EPs, and we got 4 qualifying sessions at this one also.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of good things come out of this. The Allstars was one of the real hot topics of conversation at Worldwide Technology Raceway last weekend. Mike Ames from Division 6 was down there just kind of helping out as well. So, he kind of previewing what his team is going to be and what they're looking forward to. The Motorplex has really kind of rolled out the red carpet for this. They wanted the event badly. Christy went after it and said, we will make it special. We will go above and beyond. So I'm looking forward to see how that all works. And building for the national event, we usually roll in town when most of that heavy lifting is done. So, the opportunity to be there and kind of, watch them build the circus, as it were, is kind of an interesting perspective, and especially when they've got stuff going on track all throughout the course of the weekend. I've been following along a little bit with some of the stuff that's going on, some of the concerts and the other things. But yeah, if the weather forecast I saw is true, warm Thursday and Friday and then cooling down big time Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be really good out there. And the Texas Motorplex, from the day it opened, has been known as one of the fastest tracks on the tour. Just give us decent weather and get out of the way. And that's if we get decent weather, I think it's going to be great.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great. And if you haven't already gotten tickets or planned on coming out, this is one worth coming to. And it is also, it's interesting in that it's kind of like a hinge in the championship. Over the past couple of years, many of the people who win here at the Fall Nationals are able to go on and win the championship, or Caps has given the Motorplex credit to his championship. It's not always. Justin Ashley won here last year. He'll be picking the meal at the Champions Dinner. But now we got over 20 top field dragsters because of the bonus money and the show-up money and all the extra money they're paying. So the fields are going to be hard just to make the field. Let alone to be the winner at Sunday afternoon. But you can fall out of the championship and lose your world championship here this year if you stumble. There's a couple of drivers in that position. Justin is one of them. On the other side of it, you can put yourself in a great position to win. Like, say, you're Erica Enders, who has had great success here over the years. And in a very tight pro stock points battle, if she were to run the table and win, puts herself in great position going to another very friendly racetrack into Vegas and then Pomona. It's a hinge point, but there's no way to know which way the hinge is gonna turn.
Well, the thing is, once we leave Texas on Sunday afternoon, there's only 8 win lights left for everybody in each of one of the pro categories. So at that point, if you're down 6 or 7 rounds, sorry, because you're not going to make that up with only 8 win lights left to go. So you've got to be in the game, even with points and a half in Pomona. Yes, I know that makes it a little bit closer, but you've got to get it here. And for the teams that were hot the last 3 races, I mean, I'm thinking, Doug Coletta probably hated to have to go home, wait a week, even though he smoked the tires in the semis last week. He comes in going 10 straight rounds before that, and he's got momentum on his side. I think he hated taking a weekend off. On the other hand, I got to believe that somebody like Justin Ashley liked taking the weekend off because they weren't really on stride for the first 3 races coming into the countdown to the championship. And this gives them a chance to go home, take a deep breath, regroup, make sure we've got our ducks lined up because we got 3 races left and we can't stumble again. So that's why it'll all come in here and converge, and then this will set the table for the last couple. Will teams go home after Texas before they go to Vegas? Some will, some won't. But I think if you're Doug Castello and you come in here and get out with a good day at the office, I'm not saying he has to win the race, but if he gets out of here with a good day at the office and still has a point lead, then if I'm them, I'm pointing those straight to Vegas. Like, let's just get there. Let's keep doing what we're doing. Leah Pruitt's car's running really good right now. If I'm not mistaken, she's been to the semifinals or better 4 of the last 5 races. So she hasn't been breaking through for wins, so she hasn't been getting the headlines. But all you got to do is look at the points, and you realize that her team is doing a great job right now. And I think they probably would have loved to just leave St. Louis, head straight to Dallas, unload, and let's start racing again the next day. They're running very well right now. I don't think they necessarily wanted to break, other than maybe, go home and, have the team to be able to, see their wife and see their kids and do that kind of stuff. But they got momentum on their side right now, and they want to keep that going.
Yeah, I've seen some of the social. It looked like they used the time wisely to reconnect with fun and have a good time. Exactly. You got to go to the semifinals. Like, the people average it out. If you can go to the semifinals in every countdown race, you'll be in the conversation at Pomona. That's
unless Steve Torrence wins all 6 of them.
Unless Steve Torrence wins all 6 of them. Maybe the greatest achievement in drag racing history ever. Speaking of which, Billy back on track here this weekend. Just, Mitch King going to be here. Krista Baldwin going to race here in Scott Palmer's car. Everybody wants to be a part of this race, so it's going to be extra tough and particularly tough. I'm looking at the points, though. The top 5 in Top Fuel are within 100 points. Antron 5th, 96 back. Salinas is 124 back. I don't want to do the count people out thing right now, just because, we just don't know. But those top 5 within 100 points, got to get some win lights here. You got to keep up with the competition. Like you said, Doug Castello, we all know. I'll be honest with you, Alan. Like, I feel uncomfortable even talking about Doug's story, right? Like, I don't want that man to experience heartbreak again. We've lived that one 100 times. But Buddy Hull just said it. Like, the resistance of life is what makes you better, what makes you stronger. And now he's got Alan Johnson on his side. They've gone rounds at every race. And I think it would be a very popular win, but they got to go out and earn it. It's not just going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be a very popular win. I think pretty much everybody except whoever finishes second would be happy to see Doug finally win the championship, because he's certainly done everything else you can do. But, Leah's never won a championship. She's second. Antron certainly wants another one. Steve wants to prove that he's as good as he ever was. So there's a lot of folks there that are, just as hungry, even if they haven't been chasing it quite as long. Sorry.
No, you have
a bug in my throat.
Yeah, well, you talked. You did double divisional. Yeah, Leah's just 47 back. Steve 51 back. It's a wide open affair in Top Fuel. Just to Terry and McKaylin, I see you guys down there. Terry, I think he's got something covering his screen, but you guys will be up next. Just let you know that the connection did work, and I do see you, and you guys will be on after Alan Reinhart in just a couple of minutes. Funny car, the Big Four, right? It's the Big Four. It's the Big Four battle. It's like battle royale of the winningest funny car drivers of the last 2 seasons, battling it out. Tasca has climbed up into the mix. Robert and Jimmy, Hagan and Dickey, Guido and Caps. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's never been better than this, but I don't think we've ever had 4 great cars that were also so equal to one another, battling it out for 3 races, pretty much inside of a round or so. We would dream that up at the start of the season.
And 4 independent cars. And I think that that's a big part of it too, right? I mean, Hagan doesn't have a teammate out there. Caps doesn't have a teammate out there. Tasca doesn't have a teammate out there. Robert doesn't have a teammate out there. So when they're coming after you, they're coming after you. And okay, yes, Robert and John are teammates, but I think you understand what I'm saying, right? That these guys all are having to do it on their own. And I just think that adds to it. I think that adds so much to it when you've got the different brands involved going head to head.
Yeah, each of the 4 manufacturers are represented as well.
Yeah. And I think, all of that really plays into making this a fun championship, because there's a lot on the line for everybody. I honestly believe to this point of the countdown, I think Matt Hagan's had the best race car. there have certainly been times when Bob Task has been, but you look at what's happened on Sunday. Matt Hagan lost 2 races by a total of 11 thousandths of a second, 11 ten thousandths of a second. 2 races. He lost one by 1/10,000th, and he lost one by 1,000th. But that car is going down the track. It's competitive. They're not making mistakes. They're not leaving the door open. And so I really think that, maybe an eyelash, he might be the favorite.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And that 1/10,000th of a second race that happened at Maple Grove, like, we'll be thinking about that. We might be thinking about it. If Hagan wins the championship, then it'll be like, no big deal, something that happened. But those are the kind of things that drag racers like wake up to a nightmare like 10 years from now. Like, oh my gosh, championships decided by a 1/10 of a 1,000th of a second. Pro stock very tight as well. Erica, Dallas, Greg, Hartford, all in the mix. Pro stock super tough. Pro stock motorcycle. I don't want to just. It's like, let's just say it, right? Gage Herrera. I don't want to see him have such a terrible stumble that he's going to lose it now. But I do want to see Matt Smith racing. It's my understanding that Matt's on his way and that Angie tried to fight him to get here. But, I want to see those guys have a great showing as well. But that seems like it's worked itself out.
Well, they're certainly motivated. And, Matt has had a great bike all year long. And he's certainly shown, as he always has, he's willing to do whatever it takes, whatever effort, whatever hours, whatever it takes to be in the championship hunt. And certainly, nothing would make Angie feel better and heal faster than for them to get out of there with the win and close up the points a little bit. But simple fact of the matter is Gage Herrera has the best motorcycle, period. And unless they do something wrong, I just don't see anybody. I don't see anybody closing that performance gap.
Yeah. And, he's got to finish the job. He's got to show up to the races. He's got to make the travel, but he has earned it this whole season. Alan, great job as usual, keeping the show kind of tight because I'm in the media center here and, there's a lot of factors going on behind the scenes. But any final thoughts, anything you want to put on people's radar as they get ready for the Fall Nationals?
No, not really. Just if you haven't got your tickets yet, come out. It's going to be fun. This place usually brings 23 or 24 top alcohol dragsters, so that's going to be a battle. Champion's still up for grabs there. Sean Bellemere and Doug Gordon are in another fight to the death for the alcohol funny car championship. They're both going to be there, and they both have had great success in Texas. So that's going to be another fun one to watch. There's just still a lot of things going on. There's a lot of stuff coming down to the wire, and I know that Christy and her staff are going to make it special for the fans. They always do. And I said, looking forward to seeing what the Allstars is going to add to what's already a jam-packed ticket. So it's going to be a great weekend. If you like drag racing at any level, come out to the Motorplex this weekend. We got something for you. Oh, and the draw auction Saturday night. You can come make fun of me and Loans while we were trying to raise some money for the Drag Racing Association of Women.
I don't need an excuse to make fun of you and Loans, but I'll be there anyway.
Well, good.
Great job,
then we'll make fun of you.
That happens all the time anyway. That's like pretty much, we call that Wednesday where I'm from. Alan, great job as usual. I'll see you in a few days.
All right. We'll see if you're full-blown Texan by the time I get there tomorrow.
I'm getting it all, man. Like it's one step at a time. I'm becoming a Texan. Thank you, Alan. There you go. Sue is in Arizona. There goes Alan Reinhart, the voice of the NHRA, and super excited. He's a big part of WFO Radio for many, many years. All right, our next guest, I feel like this is his first WFO Radio appearance. Because the whole thing about WFO is you win your way on, right? Like you win your way on, not everybody, but you win your way on. And we made him win his way on and he won his way on. And he's joining us. Terry Haddock and Mitchan Hadock are on the show. We're going to talk about the win. But first thing, Terry, there was something that was happening yesterday. Before I bring it up, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
It went awesome, bud. It went great.
Tell us what happened. Tell us what happened, Terry. The most important thing of the weekend.
Last night, what I did is I tried to surprise my girlfriend, Heather, and I asked her to get married. So, and it was, yes, I surprised her. Didn't know it was coming. Yeah, that's awesome.
She said yes, Mitchan. She said yes. Thank goodness, right? That would have buzzkilled the whole weekend.
It would have. We would have been in the dumps if she said no. That would have been bad.
you know, a lot of times it's hard to pull something past these ladies. So what I did is I told her we were going out on a date, and then I had her get all dressed up. And then when I got her in the car, I said, well, you got to wear this blindfold. So I put a blindfold on her and then took her for a ride, took her over to our property, surprised her, but she didn't see it coming at all. It was beautiful.
Congratulations, Terry. Congratulations. And I'm a believer. Anybody that listens to me or the show knows that there's something with energy. I don't want to say what it is, but there's something with energy. Positive energy makes more positive energy. Certainly negative energy makes more negative energy. And you've got a positive energy around your team right now. Like, people are excited. We want to see that first 3-second run. When you come to the starting line, there's an anticipation. That's all so good for you guys. And it seems like the team, I know McKaylen, I met Austin, Johnny, those guys are like, they're feeling like this positive thing around you. And the other day it culminated with, as I understand it, your first win on the NHRA side of the universe. But you explain the Texas Invitational win, you versus Mitch King's Top Fuel Dragster in the final round with 15,000 screaming wild concert goers watching, and you won the deal. Tell us about it.
It was pretty awesome. It's pretty great that the Myers put that thing on for us, and they're trying so hard to grow the sport of drag racing and bring more people into it. So it was neat that they could do that during that concert series. It was fun. We raced Jeff Deal on the first night, and we beat him, and then we were ready to the finals. Both cars made full passes and had a hell of a show for the fans, and that's what we were there to do. So, and anytime you can win, it's awesome. To watch, you know, if you mentioned my guy Austin started with me 5 years ago, and when he came, he literally couldn't tie his shoe. And a great guy, wonderful young man. And when Johnny's not around, he's actually the car chief all the time. But when Johnny's not around, I give him Johnny's hat, and he does everything I ask of him. And my son too. Everybody has done a wonderful job to make this car keep making runs.
Yeah, so I got to hang out with Austin a little bit. I watched him do his, he went over and talked to Jeff. He's like, hey, we're doing long burnouts, you know, remember that? We're doing the long burnouts. And he handled himself very cool, like with the responsibility of being the chief. And I know Johnny is coming back. They're both named West, but they're not related, Terry. How crazy is that?
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, one of the coolest things, though, is watching these young guys grow into these roles. It's pretty cool. You know, Austin works his heart out on this race car, and he has a big future out here in drag racing.
I think he does, and he, you know, we need that, right? Like, it's a very difficult balance. Like, you got to give the keys to the young generation, otherwise there won't be anybody to take over the wheel when we need them to. And that's happening with you and the crew chiefing side of things. It's also happening to you with the driving side of things. McKaylen did a great job yesterday at the media day. He's going to be making some hits out here, I guess, on Thursday. But tell us what's going on with McKaylen as he, at 16, is getting his driving chops going.
Well, when your kids are younger, you hope they'll follow in your footsteps, but you never know if they will, and you're just always happy and proud that they're hanging around with you. And over the last couple of years, Kaylen's drive has changed, and he really wants to drive that funny car. So on his 16th birthday, we took him out and let him start making squirts in the nostalgia car. And over the winter last year, we made a couple, you know, we took it out a couple times. And then the summer's been so busy, he hasn't gotten to drive. So we're going to it's actually tomorrow that we're going to let him make a bunch of runs and see how he does. And then we'll get his license complete by the end of the year. And hopefully at the end of the year, there'll be some announcements of what he's going to be doing next year.
Exciting. And so let's talk to him. Okay, so McKaylen, like you've been working. I'm trying to unmute him. There he is. You've been working as a media member, as a social media person, I think since you were 12 years old. But you tell everybody when you felt like you started to work at the NHRA, for your dad, to not just being there with your dad, doing something to help the team.
Well, I've been there.
I see you. You're still good.
I've been working on the car for full time, probably.
And McKaylen freezes up, Terry. He was good this whole time, and then he just froze up. I don't know where he is. Do you know where McKalen is, Terry? Got it. All right, let's try to bring him back. Let's try to bring McKalen back. How about now, McKalen? You good?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now. Where are you?
Okay. I am in the
Where are
library
you?
at school. It's the only place I
In
can
the
get
library
Wi-Fi. Library at school.
Great. And what, high school? Like it didn't occur to me that you had to go to school. Tell your story real quick and get back to school, young man.
So I've been working on the car now for 2 years, probably. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I don't really.
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. I hear you. He dropped off. We just had like an internet flash here, guys. So let's try. Terry, can you hear me? Because we lost your volume as well. Yeah, but see, like I can't hear Terry all of a sudden. It's real weird. I'm going to kick you from the studio. Try coming back in. But the bottom line is, we got the gist. Terry Haddock won the Texas Invitational here at the Texas Motorplex in the Stampede of Speed. And I don't know what it was, but we just had like a internet pulse or something. But it was so good to be able to get. Let's see if we can get McKalen back in. All right, how about now?
Until you can't.
Yes, you're good. Tell us your story, McKalen. You've been working on the car for 2 years. You're going to make some runs tomorrow. You're 16 years old and you're in high school right now. Oh my goodness.
College. High school. College.
But you're 16. How are you in college?
Just my entire life, I've watched Dad work his butt off for drag racing, and he's taught me to just work harder than everybody else because that's the only way you're going to get anywhere. And that's what I did and how I ended up here.
So what, you finished high school early? Like, when did you graduate?
I graduated 2 weeks before Denver, and I just worked ahead with everything. Like, I did the equivalent of 2 years worth of school in one just by taking on a bunch of extra work and working myself to death, and paid off. And now I'm sitting here. I've got class in a couple hours and then a date, and then I'm driving back up to Dallas to go drive a race car.
That is so great. No, listen, people are proud of you. And you know what? I think I'm proud of drag racing for creating a hardworking kid like you who worked so hard to get your high school diploma early so that you could go to college early so that you can help your dad with his drag racing. Like, that's, I don't know. What do your friends think of that? Like, I want to say it's uncommon, but maybe it's not. What, you tell me, what is the reaction you get from people around you your age?
There isn't really anybody my age. Most of them are 2 or 3 years older than me, but I've made a real good group of friends. They don't care. The way that I look at it is I've done a lot in my life. Like, I've gotten a lot of experience through drag racing and through everything that I've done with Dad. And it makes me see it's not necessarily your age that defines everything about you. It's your experiences and everything that you've gotten to be a part of. And maybe not accomplish, because I haven't accomplished a whole ton of things in the grand scheme of things, but I've gotten to experience a lot of the world through drag racing and through Dad. And so I'm most of my friends don't care. That's basically what you're looking for.
That's a short answer, but I get what you're saying, and I appreciate it. And we got your dad back. And Terry, I didn't know that McKalen had graduated high school like 2 years early. That's very impressive. That's a credit to you.
It's a credit to our whole family who's pushed him to do well. You know what I mean? I'm really proud of him. He's a smart kid, and I never went to school. I never went to college. I never did, and I just want to make sure he has a better shot than I did at doing all this, whatever he decides to do, whether it's racing, media, it don't matter. I just want him to have a better shot than I did.
All right, let's find out what he wants to do. All right, McKalen, 5 years from now, what do you want to be doing? What do you want?
I want to go fast.
That's it. I love it. Guys, congratulations on that Texas Invitational win. I really hope that you got the win. The car's been running great. People are supporting you. You got that win. You got a big yes, Terry, from Heather. So like everything is pointing in the right direction. I'm hoping for a 3-second run Friday night. Can we make that happen?
We are hoping for the 3-second run. And the way I see this whole thing is we're extremely blessed to be out here racing with the best in the world. I get to do it with my family, with my kids, Heather. And I know at some point it'll be our day and we're going to get a win. So when it's that day, I'm looking forward for it. But every day we're going to keep trying.
Love it. All right, guys. Kaylin, back to class. Terry, back to just being happy about the past couple of days. And we'll see you, we'll see you tomorrow here at the Texas Motorplex.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Later. The Haddocks, how about that? Michaela knows how to do it, man. I want to go fast. He knows what to say. Good one. So Elon Werner, who's like behind the scenes character in the world of drag racing, he's kind of in charge of putting together the whole Stampede of Speed. Put Michaela like on the spot with an interview yesterday, and the kid hit the ball out of the park. He's in front of two mayors, the mayor of Waxahachie and the mayor of Ennis. And, he's got the nostalgia car out there. He's 16. They put him on the spot to do an interview, and he nailed it. He absolutely nailed it. It was a great job. So I think the future is bright for the Haddock family. But it's, we've all watched Terry. We've all watched Terry struggle from afar and from near. And to see like the skies clearing and good times happening, it's really great. Like, I don't think, and I think more is to come. That's the way, I don't know. There's something about positive energy that it increases on itself. All right, guys, let's put your comments in the comment section, and let's see what you think about what we've learned today and what we will learn out there for the remainder of the weekend. Just want to mention Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure for the holidays. It's a great gift. It's a gift that you can get. You send the drag racing fan in your life on an experience. They make 3 runs, 1 half-track, 2 full-track passes. In Frank Hawley's Dragsters, they show up with nothing, just a shirt on their back, and they get leave with an experience of a lifetime. I highly recommend it as a holiday gift. And I know you're thinking, Joe, it's not even Halloween yet. But if you've been to Lowe's or Home Depot, you know it's already Christmas. And so it is what it is. Start thinking about the holidays. And that brings me to Marvin Rodak, Rodak'sCoffeeandGrills.com, the hot sauces and the spice rubs and everything so good. Coffee. Marvin is in Fort Worth. I was down there this morning, a little impromptu WFO Patreon meetup. Sue Morris, Bobby Graham, a bunch of them were down there. Derek was down there. Marvin was down there. We were drinking coffee. I was there for like 40 minutes, but it was great. And you can enjoy a little Rodak's coffee as well. 817-924-6821. Call Marvin Rodak and get in on the Rodak's experience. And Marvin Rodak is going to be on the side of a pro stock car this weekend. Camry Caruso's machine will be sporting the Rodak's logo. And so I think it's super great to see Marvin. He'll be out there on the starting line. So when you see Camry on the starting line, look in the background and you'll see Marvin Rodak having the experience of a lifetime. And of course, samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. This is a different kind of thing, right? Like you don't get it as a gift. It's a decision that to go down a career path, really, as a machinist, as an engine builder, as a crew member, as a CNC programmer. They do it all. They do EFI tuning as well. Go to samtech.edu. Brian Massengill and the Massengill family doing a great job with all of that. And let's see what people have to say. I'll give you my takes. Which is this. This event. I've now experienced the whole thing 2 years in a row. I'm right in the middle of it right now. I'm very much looking forward to the Champions Dinner. The Champions Dinner, Wednesday night. It's going to be great. It's an honor for all the past winners. If you win this race, you're invited forever, which is super cool. And it's not like a banquet where it's not stuffy. It's fun. There's whiskey tasting and there's cigars and there's music and everybody is hanging out. And it's like the fun, relaxing calm before the storm that is the Fall Nationals. And they're doing a great job. Wonderful meal, little interview. I'll be hosting and interviewing Justin and Erica and everybody who had great success last year. And it's just going to be so much fun. Thursday, we have the Fan Fest in Waxahachie. If you're coming to the race, you got to plan to go to the Fan Fest. It's at the Rail Yard Park. It's the perfect place for a Fan Fest. Fan Fest, what is it? It's an autograph line. And no, there's music and there's food trucks. And last year there was a live band and just a lot of good stuff. and then Fall Nationals, the JEGS Allstars on Friday. These are the best of our Lucas Oil Series racers. Rich Price from Division 1, the Northeast Division, came down last week. He's been here all week. He's been hanging out at the concerts. We watched some Diamond Rio together. He's just enjoying the whole Stampede of Speed. And most importantly, the Texas Motorplex wants the JEGS All-Stars here. They want them to be a part of it. They want them to feel the appreciation for their participation in the NHRA at such a high level. Like, it's great. But they're going to battle it out, the division versus the divisions. It's going to be great. I will hopefully be, able to rep the Southeastern Division a little bit, as well as locally here. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Let's get your comments in the comment section, and then we'll get on out of here. Jimmy Ryan said the Raiders won last night. I was watching the Raiders win last night. Is Nitro testing on Wednesday? Is it going to be streaming? I don't think there's going to be streaming Nitro testing, but I don't know for certain. Looks like a great weekend ahead. I totally agree. I think I know Bobby Graham. I think I know Bobby Graham as well. What is the minimum age to drive a Nitro car in the NHRA? I believe it is 18, but this is a heritage car that he's going to be running. So I believe that he gets in on that. But he's working on licensing, so he's not licensed just yet. He's doing little runs and burnouts and going through the procedure to get a license. Rich is an awesome guy. So you're here, Bender? That's great. That's great. That's right where you should be. Everybody should be out here enjoying. And we're going to have our big Patreon meetup for all the WFO Patreons that are on your way. We're already decided Dave and Sue Morris have arrived. They've made it safely. And we're going to be doing the Patreon meetups, maybe in their pit, at least one of them. And we're all going to be running all over the place. So if you're a WFO Patreon, thank you so much for coming out. I can tell you that our Nitro School guest is going to be Scott Palmer. So if you want to connect with Palmer, that's super cool. Palmer has been out here. I've been hanging out with Scott, been having a good time. And I'm becoming a Texan, right? All right, so Ken is here. Ken Robinson is there. That makes perfect sense. I thought you were here, Bob. It's not too late, Bob. You can make your way down here. Earl Nichols says your favorite A fuel driver is not there. Oh, Earl. Why aren't you here, Earl? See, that's the thing. You guys need to travel to this one. And that's part of why I'm here, to apply pressure to you guys, to apply pressure. All right, I'm going to try to get out of here clean, try to make a clean exit on this deal. Big thanks to the Motorplex for giving me this palatial location. Let's see if we can turn it a little bit. There's the track. We didn't really do that because of the backlighting situation, but the Texas Motorplex is totally revamped over the past couple of years, and it is just an amazing historic facility. But the thing that makes it the best is that it's family run, and they have brought me into the family, and I feel so welcome here. And whether it be introducing acts on stage, or if you've been following my social media, you can see that I got pretty close to the jet cars, guys. I got pretty close to the jets. I announced jet cars from between jet cars. It was nuts. What an experience. But seeing Nitro Funny Car and a top fuel dragster, Terry Haddock versus Mitch King in the final round of the Texas Invitational, which they're trying to grow into a big event. Everything that you're seeing here at the Stampede of Speed is a seed that's being planted. The Champions Dinner, seed that's being planted. Think of the Masters Dinner, where everybody that's there are past winners and they're all peers, and they can go in there and talk and trash talk each other and have fun about the time that they won the Masters, and they're all wearing their green jackets. Same deal. The Texas Invitational, it was a 4-car top fuel versus funny car shootout. But next year, maybe it'll be something more. And they're just increasing and growing. There's new asphalt here on the property. All you alcohol racers, I don't know who ends up on the new asphalt, honestly. I shouldn't say. But you alcohol racers know where you used to pit. I can tell you that whole area is now brand new, perfect asphalt. And it's huge. And I thought, there's going to be a lot of people that want to be on that asphalt. That asphalt is perfect. It just shows you how much effort is going into taking the first ever super track and making it even more powerful, making it bigger than it has ever been. All right, guys, that's going to do it. Follow along on the social media, WFO Joe, WFO Radio. pushing out new videos and Insta stories, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Please subscribe to all our channels, the podcast, write us a review. We appreciate all of that as well. You guys are the ones that make it happen. And if you're on your way to the Stampede of Speed, thank you so much for coming out. And of course, we'll have a whole recap next week when we get back home, back on the air. In the meantime, safe travels out here to wonderful Ennis, Texas, the Texas Motorplex, and the NHRA Fall Nationals. Thanks to Alan Reinhart. Thanks to the Haddock family. And thanks to Buddy Hull, of course, the Motorplex, for giving me this great place to do the show. And we'll see you when you get here. And all you Patreons, safe travels. Come on down. We're going to get together. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. WFO, guys.